We're going to talk about the lubrication system for the engine. We've got all the parts of the lubrication system on the bench here. This is the oil pan or the sump. We've got the oil pump, pickup tube, the baffle that sits inside the oil pan, the oil itself, which is super important, and an oil filter. We'll get to all of those parts, but first I'm going to continue cleaning just the remnants of the old gasket. When we removed this oil pan, the old gasket, which is like a silicon sealant that seals this, was left on there. And although it's been to the blasters and been cleaned beautifully, we still have traces of the gasket. So in that situation, we just scrape it out with a flat braided screwdriver, use a scraper, just remove all the remaining bits, and then just some steel wool or a bit of small sandpaper, and just take that back to a nice polish so we've got a beautiful smooth surface. Come back in 5 seconds, this will be finished, and we can talk about engine oil. We're going to talk about all the different parts of the lubrication system in detail, but before we do that, let's have a look at the general way that this system works, each component. So we have a supply of oil which sits in the bottom of the engine down here in the sump or the oil pan, and that oil sits down here and it gets pumped up through a pickup pipe which sits about here, dips into the oil, gets pumped up through that pipe by the oil pump, which on this engine sits here at the front. The oil pump then pumps that oil along a gallery, an oil pipe here, and through the oil filter, which cleans out the big dirty particles in the oil. Then that oil gets circulated around the engine to the various places that it's needed. That is the main bearings here, the pistons, the cylinder walls, up into the head, into the valve train here, and then it comes back down. Once it's been used, it drops back down through the engine, through oil, essentially drop pipes, which drop all the way through, falls back into the sump where it cools down and goes back round again. So the first part of the lubrication system that we're going to look at is the engine oil itself.